You hit this pretty This is a close quarter thing, so in other words, this doesn't apply anymore. It's also really, truly the first self-defense technique that is one that is executed because you can't run, okay? When someone's, doing this, there's always the option of running, assuming, again, that you're able to. Sometimes you can't. Maybe, you have your child with you, or, you're in a circumstance where you're not able to flee. But once someone puts their hands on you and grabs you, that's a clear-cut, aggressive kind of motion. All right, so we discussed this during the initial demonstration of knee of vengeance. So it's counter grab, that can be lapel or back of the head, and if you're going to grab the back of the head, don't interlock your fingers. What you want to do is grab and hold your own wrist and use your forearms to bring the person's head down. In other words, lock them in. Then you drive that knee up, you stomp on the foot, and you come across with an elbow. Of course, there's always a what if. What if the person is taller? So your elbow is not going to come across to their head. So in the bag, I was kind of doing a modified elbow because clearly that's not the size of the height of the person. So if they're taller, you're going to get and grab up here, knee, stomp. You may have to do the elbow in an upward direction. That's all fine. All right, a few other little pointers about this technique is you might want to include some of the dirty fighting concepts that we will be talking about. For example, nice, easy, quick thing that you can do when you grab, because it's going to take your brain a second or two to process this. As the person grabs you, you may not react as quickly as you would have hoped. Okay, but one of the things probably that will happen is your hands will come up, because that's a basic self-defense. So you might as well use that to your advantage. So a person grabs you, you can quickly flick them into the eyes. Now, I prefer a backhand flick as opposed to this. Okay, there is a possibility you miss and you break a finger, which is not going to bode well for you. But a flick to the eyes is a quick disorienting thing that will now give you a little time to execute. So I flick to the eyes, counter grab, drive the knee, and stomp. Now, stomping, you're aiming for the instep, top of the foot, or even the ankle. These are very sensitive areas. Again, giving the person a brain redirect, as you will. Okay, so now they're not going to be so interested in harming you because now they're getting this input from the rest of their body. So, knee, stomp, and then, of course, the elbow. Now, that's not the end of the technique, okay? You can continue. In other words, elbow, punch to the solar plex, another knee. Okay, you could even do an inside leg sweep. In other words, stick your leg in between their leg and then throw them to the ground. Now, this gives you an opportunity to get out of that situation if you are able to leave. All right, so that is your bonus footage for knee event. All right, just wanted to have a brief kind of overview, best practice, if you will. As you're doing your techniques and your fitness requirements on the pads, okay, there's a tendency for the data sort of to get mixed up. So what I would suggest, what I typically do is, as I do something, I complete it, I write it down on scrap paper, and then I create a journal in a loose leaf book or whatever, and I date it. I put down the number of strikes, the amount of force, and which of course you'll be able to get. And then once you have it all in one place, it's kind of easy to manage. Okay, in terms of uploading the data to Google Drive, if you write it down on a piece of paper as you do it, then you know what values go with what values that you had saved. So you don't have to worry about, oh, was that a punch or kick? I don't remember. So just friendly piece of advice on how to manage the data. Again, the journal's for you, not for us. Okay, this way you can track your progress as you're moving through. When you submit stuff for belt purposes, we will see the data from the actual app. In other words, you'll submit it through Google Drive or email it. So we'll have your actual data. But tracking it and seeing how you're doing over time really is more of a personal thing, and it'll help you see where, you know, maybe you need to spend a little more time on this activity or that activity. All right, again, just some friendly advice on best practices. Knee of vengeance is the first technique where there's an actual grab, and this is probably one of the most common things that happens in any street fight. Okay, once all this nonsense happens, then there's going to be grabbing, and typically what happens is the person is going to try to grab you and throw you to the floor. This is where a bigger, heavier person has an advantage because of body mass. So it's imperative, particularly if you're smaller, that you not allow that to happen. Okay, so how do you avoid that? All right, so knee of vengeance as a technique is shown or taught this way, where person grabs you, you grab them, you counter grab, you bring them in, you knee to the groin, stomp on the foot, and then you elbow. So that's a basic premise of that technique, which can be done in a variety of ways. All right, so two of my favorite things in terms of self-defense with a grab is the use of the knee to the groin, very effective, and not a knee. You keep kneeing the person until they fall down. And then once they're on the ground, you need to make sure that they're not getting back up again. Okay, second thing that's underrated is what I call twisting. Twist and shout, okay, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to twist and they're going to shout. So you see this, I alluded to this a little earlier, in a lot of YouTube fights. All right, so we will do knee of vengeance 5 times on the mannequin, then you will do this technique on the bag, delivering that elbow. All right, so knee of vengeance, so they grab you, you counter grab, you can grab them behind their head. If your intention is to bring their head down, okay, you can grab them under the arms, you can grab them from inside, any grab, as long as you can kind of control them, because really what you're looking to do is get that knee up, stomp, and then see this elbow here is free into the rib cage or upwards, okay, or into the rib cage or upwards. Again, not just once, as many times as you need to affect this technique. So counter grab, knee, stomp, elbow. 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 Okay, and again, that's not the end of the technique. Okay, so once you have their attention, you can go right into the eyes. Okay, you can into the groin a couple of times more. You can sweep the legs out, okay, all of which we will be talking about as we move forward through the rest of the techniques. Okay, technique knee of vengeance. We're going to do this both in the air and on the pad, so we'll do it 10 times in the air. So it's a grab, you counter grab, your knee, you stomp, and you elbow. Elbow can be to the head. If the person is smaller than you can even come up with that elbow. Okay, again, what we're trying to do is use a short range weapon. So 10 times, stomp, elbow, knee, stomp, elbow, knee, stomp, elbow, knee, stomp, elbow, knee, stomp, elbow. Other side, knee, stomp, elbow, knee, stomp, elbow, knee, stomp, elbow, knee, stomp, elbow, knee, stomp, elbow. All right, it's knee of vengeance, 5 on each side and on the pads. So let's just get a quick calibration of what the elbow strike should look like. Again, I'm not looking for maximum force. What I'm looking for is consistency. So let's see what we do with an elbow. So 540, and if you remember early on I had mentioned that the elbow strike is going to be more forceful than the jab because A, you're in closer, B, it's harder to miss, and C, you're hitting with a bigger area. All right, so let's do a couple of knee of vengeance. So I would counter grab, knee stomp, elbow, knee stomp, elbow, knee knee, stop, elbow, knee, stop, elbow, knee, stop, elbow, knee, stop, elbow. Now notice the hand stays up. Knee, stop, elbow, knee, stop, elbow, knee, stop, elbow. All right, so that's what you're looking at for knee of vengeance. So for yellow belt, we have certain fitness requirements. It's the first belt in the series, and we will start to introduce more fitness requirements as you move up in belt. But for yellow, we have bob and weave 50 times, push-ups 50 times, 1 minute of punching, either on the bag or in the air, depending if you are submitting stuff for belt purposes, and stretch. Okay, so again, slowly introducing you to some of the core concepts of SURPASS system. All right, again, if you are submitting stuff for belt, then you need to record your data on the Power Punch Plus transmitter. All right. Don't forget could download your free copy of Getting Fit After 40, you know, really any age, which includes a complete how-to guide, including all my videos, fast forward so you don't have to sit through an hour of me exercising, but it shows you what I do, how I do it, complete outline of everything. We talk about food, we talk about the biochemistry of how it works. It's a rather long white paper. You don't have to read, of course, the whole thing. You can skip around to the parts that interest you, but it's based in science, not hype. Not about supplements, not about crazy exercise or diets. Really, it is more of a way of life, okay? How to stay fit while still living your life, not being in the gym for hours on end. All right, so for more information on any of that, including the entire curriculum for the SURPASS system, please go to MyFittelife.com. And if you like the videos, please make sure that you subscribe, hit the like button, and of course, any questions that you might have, put in there, and I personally will answer any of your questions. Be kind with the critiques. Again, it's not a perfect world, and martial arts certainly is not a perfect thing. We try to do the best that we can. The information I'm providing you has been gathered for over hundreds of years of martial arts wisdom combined into this small little package. I've trained myself for years with some great people, learned a lot, continue to learn. So let's see if we can continue to learn together. Weave. So what we're going to do is bob, that's 1 and 1, and then punch. 2 and 2, and punch. All right, so we'll try and do alternating punches. In other words, 1, 1, 2, 2. All right, so we'll do this as quickly as we can because this is part of our fitness portion. Okay, in the future, no explanations. We're just going to go right into it. All right, here we go. All right, there you have it. 50 roughly back and forth. Again, using your legs. And don't forget to breathe. All right, we got in 60 strikes, not bad. Again, force you're not that concerned about. Let's try on the other side. All right, so we'll reset this. Reset this, so we wound up with 60. And let's do another minute, this time with the finger flicks. You can use 2 hands or 1. All right, 65, again, pretty fast. Ten. 20. 30. 40. 50. All right, now.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stretching, there are many ways to approach this. This is not a yoga session, so we are focusing here mostly on trying to get a good overall stretch. I think stretching is highly underrated. It's probably one of the most important things I have done through my entire adult life that has prevented me from being injured. Being flexible is critically important, particularly as you get older. You know, I kid around, my goal is to be able to slip, fall, and get up without having to make a trip to the emergency room. So flexibility will allow me to do that. All right, so I'm going to walk through a little bit of what my stretches are. You can do as much of this or as little of this as you are inclined to do. A little later on, we will be talking about dynamic stretching, which is a little bit more ballistic, which is also important because the movements that we do are ballistic. But I think it's good to have a baseline of stretching. Again, you go at your own pace, do as much or as little as you like. I'm just going to show you what my stretching protocol is. And again, it's a good way to rest in between, particularly if you're doing any kind of resistance training by the bands or weightlifting, or you just need a break. Might as well just put that time to good use, and I've always found stretching to be that point in time when I need a rest. All right, the other thing about stretching, you should try and hold a position for at least 20 to 30 seconds. Statically, don't overextend. Give your muscles time to relax a little bit and really absorb, if you will, that stretch. All right, so again, I'm going to go through my particular regimen, and you do as much or little as you like. All right, so I always start. Move my feet out a little bit again. Try and hold about 20 seconds. Feet out a little more. Now Walk it out a little bit. Stretch my hamstrings, adductors. Shoot that in a little. Back stretch, throw your leg over your own one, try to reach behind you. Again, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Stretch your neck out a little, crunching. Reverse to the other side. Do a nice butterfly stretch. Again, 15, 20, 30 seconds roughly. Again, we do a lot of kicking and martial arts and a lot of lower body work. I want to get some stretch, my quads. Switch to the other side. Hip flexibility is important. So just do a nice stretch in here. put up a one for me. Hip exercise. Again, some of these may look familiar from yoga if you do yoga. More. Stretches for your back, hamstring, shoulder, your neck. Okay, there are other stretches that you can add in. Occasionally I'll rotate through some other things, but those are my core basic ones that I do on a regular basis. All right. All right, after every session, I try to get a little bit more work in. So if you want, you can load one of our videos, punching, kicking, combination videos. We have 1 and 2 minute versions that you can just kind of tack on at the end, get a little bit more work in, okay, depending on what your day looks like. again, high intensity interval training. That means moving quickly, getting your heart rate up for a shorter period of time. Great for burning fat. Has been shown that it is probably the most efficient way, better than running or even like hitting the heavy bag. Okay, that gets a little tiring on your hands. Running, of course, can get to be a problem with your knees. So again, which is why I started to train with the Power Punch Plus system, because it's convenient, it's at home, very little stress on my body. It's something I could do every day, and of course it's different, work on different aspects of my martial arts skills. So anyway, time for me to get a little work in. If you want to join me, look forward to seeing you.